Hello, welcome to our channel. And in this lecture, we are going to discuss about mechanism of the photosynthesis and heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, and the previous lesson, that is lecture 5, we have discussed some topics. If you have not watched, please go back and watch that lesson and come back. So first, we will discuss about the mechanism of the photosynthesis. Mechanism means how this process is going on. That is known as mechanism. Okay, or you can call it as a procedure. So you can call it as a procedure of the photosynthesis. So first, in the photosynthesis we will see two things, that is light dependent reaction and light independent. So what is meant by light dependent reaction? So the word itself says that this is the it requires light to perform, or it requires light for the functioning. That is known as a light dependent reaction, or you can call it as a photochemical phase. So what is photo? Photo means light. Okay, you can see the photo means light. Okay, and chemical means there is a some chemical substances. Okay, chemical substances are produced. So in this phase it is dependent on light, and in this mechanism there is a production of some chemicals, that is known as photochemical phase. Okay, and this light dependent reaction, it is going to occur in the chloroplast. So what is chloroplast? In the last lesson, that is lecture 5, we have discussed about what is chloroplast. So in the cell, let us consider this is a plant cell. The plant cells contains the nucleus, and along with the nucleus you will see ribosomes, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, and so on. So that these we have discussed all in the ninth class. So here you can see the chloroplast. So the chloroplast, if you take it out, so the chloroplast looks in this way. It has a thallic membranes. Okay, and also this is known as granum and stroma lamellae and so on. So here what they are saying, it occurs in the chloroplast. This phase is initiated by the light. Okay, the light is going to activate this reaction. In the presence of light only it is going to occur. That is known as light dependent reaction. Okay, so hence we are calling it as a light dependent reaction. It is going to activate the pigments that is present in the chloroplast. So what is chloroplast? Most of the students confuse between the chloroplast and chlorophyll. Chloroplast means it is an organelle. Okay, it is a organelle. Okay, so these are structures present in the any cell. So what is meant by chlorophyll? In the thylakoid membranes, you will see green color pigment. Pigment means a color. That is known as chlorophyll. Okay, so that is known as chlorophyll. So it is a light dependent reaction. Light reactions takes place in the chlorophyll. In the chlorophyll means it is going to the chlorophyll is going to absorb the light, and which is present in the thylakoids. So what is difference between thylakoids and granum? Grana means, first we will discuss about thylakoids. Thylakoids means these are the membranes of the stacking. Okay, these are known as thylakoids. So when these thylakoids are placed one above the other, it looking like a coins placed one above the other. So hence, if you see such kind of structure, is known as granum. This is granum. Okay, so this is known as granum. So each individual thing is known as thylakoid membranes, or you can call it as a thylakoid. Okay, fine. So now we will discuss about steps that is occurring in the light dependent reaction. Okay, the first step is the chlorophyll get activated by the absorbing photons. Okay, so what is meant by photons? It is the energy of the light. Okay, tiny units of the light. Okay, that is known as photons. So what happens? The chlorophyll, the thylakoid membranes containing the chlorophyll. Okay, so this chlorophyll is going to get activated when the light is going to fall on it. When sunlight is going to fall on it, they are going to get activated. Okay, so this is a must. This is the first thing, the first important thing. So next is the Hill's reaction step. What is Hill's reaction? So this reaction was discovered by the Robert Hill. Robert Hill is a scientist. He discovered the reaction. The reaction is known as Hill's reaction. So can we write the Hill's reaction? We can write the Hill's reaction in this way. So H2O. H2O will be broken down into H plus and OH minus ions. Okay. So this is a hydrogen, and this is a hydroxyl ion. So what is meant by why we are calling it as writing H plus? H plus means it is an ion. So any symbol above any chemical element symbol, if you see the plus or minus, okay, the minus or plus, so what does it indicate? It indicates that it is an ion. Okay, so it doesn't have the natural properties of the same properties of the electrons. It means the electrons are less or electrons are more, but not exact quantity. Okay, so it is known as hydroxyl ion and hydrogen ion. And next is the it is going to leading to the formation of H plus and OH minus ions. It means the water molecule will be broken down into H plus and OH minus ions. So in the presence of light, okay, remember the main important thing, in the presence of light, the water molecule will be broken down into H plus and OH minus. That is going to occur in the chloroplast, that is also in the thylakoid membranes. Okay, so this is about second step, that is known as Hill's reaction, or you can call it as a Robert Hill. This may be asked in examination in the MCQ. Okay, remember that Robert Hill introduced or proposed this reaction that is known as Hill's reaction. Okay, next is the step 3. The step 3 is the OH minus. Just now we have seen the OH molecule, OH ion is produced from the Hill's reaction. So we have the important function with OH minus ion. What does it indicate? What is it going to do? It undergoes a series of the steps to produce water and oxygen. So what is meant by water and oxygen? It is nothing but H2O and O2. Okay, it is water and oxygen. It means OH minus ion is going to involve in the series of the steps. Okay, the series of the steps to form water and oxygen. Okay, remember. So the people, most of the students are thinking that we are getting oxygen during the photosynthesis by removing carbon from the carbon dioxide. So this is wrong. This thinking is wrong, and this hypothesis is wrong. So from where the oxygen is getting? The oxygen is getting from the photolysis of the water, and simply to say, it is coming from the OH minus ions after the Hill's reaction. Okay, so oxygen is coming from the breakdown or photolysis of the water, okay, not from the carbon dioxide. So this carbon is going to be involved in the production of the carbohydrates. Remember that. And it is undergoes series of reaction or steps to produce water and oxygen. Here the water is utilized by the plant for the other purposes. The plant has different purpose and function. Also the water is utilized for that function. And while oxygen is released, just now we have discussed that this oxygen is produced, and this oxygen, whatever it is produced, it is released into the environment. Why this oxygen will be released into the environment? Why? Because this oxygen is the useless product or waste product for the plant. Just now in the daytime, this oxygen is end product or useless product in the Hill's reaction. So but the same oxygen is very much helpful for the plant during the night time. We know that. So most of the students are thinking that the only carbon dioxide essential or important for the plants, but not only the carbon dioxide, but also oxygen is utilized. Oxygen is also important. The night time, so there is no sunlight. If there is no sunlight, there is no energy. But the plant need energy irrespective of sunlight. So what is going to do? It is going to absorb O2, oxygen, and it is enter into the cells through the stomata, plant leaf cells, and there is this respiration. Okay, the cellular respiration, and with the help of cellular respiration, the glucose molecules will be broken down and leading to the production of ATP. Okay, by this way the plant is going to get the energy. Okay, so during night time the oxygen is essential, while the night time the plants don't need oxygen, and they are going to release oxygen in the night time, in the daytime. Okay, and the plant is released in the oxygen is released into the environment. And next is the OH plus. Okay, H plus ions are picked up by the NADP. Okay, NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. This is the NADP. Okay, if you are unable to write or learn the spelling, so it is present in the textbook, you can see it clearly. Okay, in NADP, these terms are reduced into the form of NADPH. Okay, just now we have seen in the light reaction the H plus ions, whatever is obtained. So this H plus ions is utilized for the reduction of NADP. So if hydrogen H plus ions are utilized, what will happen? NADP get reduced into the NADPH form. Okay, and also ADP. ADP means adenosine diphosphate. Adenosine diphosphate. So this adenosine diphosphate is going to combine with inorganic phosphate to by trapping the energy from by trapping energy to form ATP. Okay, here NADP is forming into NADPH. Okay, NADPH, and also ADP and all is going to form into ATP. Okay, in the presence of inorganic phosphate. So both of them requires energy. Okay, both of them requires energy. Okay, so H plus is the energy containing, and that energy will be utilized for the formation of these components, so it is get reduced. NADP is reduced to form NADPH, and ADP is turned into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So it is the less energy. Okay, ADP is a less energy, and while ADP is a high energy compound. Okay, this is a main important thing. So you also, your cells need ATP. We have discussed in the 9th class that ATP means adenosine triphosphate. It is the energy currency of the cell. Okay, it is energy currency of the cell. Without ATP, the cells are not going to work. Okay, this ATP are produced by the mitochondria, cell organelle, that is known as mitochondria. Okay, so here these both ADPH, NADPH and also ATP both are assimilatory powers. So what is meant by assimilatory? Assimilatory means, so they have absorbed. The meaning of assimilation is absorption. Okay, absorption. What they are absorbing? They are absorbing some power. So why they are absorbing some power? For the further photosynthesis. Okay, now this NADPH and also ATP will be moved to another reaction that is known as light independent reaction. Okay, we have completed the first thing that is known as light dependent reaction. Now we are moving to the light independent reaction. So what is light independent reaction? So first, this light independent reaction is also known as biosynthetic phase. Okay, so why we are calling it as a biosynthetic phase? Why? Because here you will see many number of enzymes are involved. We know that the enzymes are biocatalyst. So what is meant by biocatalyst? So biocatalyst means it is present in the living organisms. It is going to enhance the reaction without involving, without consuming the reaction. Okay, you don't have to study all those things, but remember that enzymes are the biocatalyst. Okay, this reaction is independent of light. So most of the students are thinking that light independent reaction are this is also known as dark reaction. So what is whenever they hear the word dark reaction, they are thinking that this reaction is going to occur in the night time or dark regions. It is false. So dark reaction means what? Dark reaction means it is an independent of the light. Whether the light is there or whether the light is not there, it doesn't matter. It is going to occur all the time whenever there is a necessary. Okay. So next here, we in the last step, in the last reaction, we have seen that is the first step we have seen. So there is a production of NADPH. Okay, NADPH plus and also ATP. Okay, here you can see the NADPH is going to come in here, and this NADPH is going to combine with oxygen. Okay, not oxygen, carbon dioxide. So this NADPH is going to combine with carbon dioxide by utilizing ATP. So NADPH is combining with carbon dioxide by utilizing the ATP. So this carbon dioxide is reduced. Okay, this carbon dioxide utilized in for the production of the glucose molecules. But to produce the glucose molecules from the carbon dioxide, there is several steps. Several steps are there. So in those several steps, one important compound is known as RUBP. Okay, RUBP means ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. It is an important compound. It is also going to involve in the production of the carbohydrates from the carbon dioxide. Okay, so this RUBP is also going to help in the binding with carbon dioxide. Okay, and at the end of this reaction, the glucose is converted into starch. How the glucose is converted into starch? So the glucose molecule is produced, okay, by these two processes, and this glucose will be released into the stroma. Okay, what is stroma? The colorless fluid in the chloroplast. Okay, the colorless fluid around the grana, around the thylakoid membranes, that fluid is known as stroma. So this stroma, what it is going to have? It is going to have the number of enzymes. Okay, number of enzymes. These enzymes are going to convert the glucose molecules into starch. Okay, how the starch look like? So the bonded form of the glucose molecules are known as starch. Okay, so this is the just diagram for the rough diagram for the starch. Okay, so this is the formation of the formation of starch from the glucose molecules at the end of the light independent reaction. Okay, and we have completed about the mechanism of photosynthesis. Now we are going to move to the heterotropic nutrition. So what is meant by heterotropic organisms? So there are two organisms, autotrophic, okay, and heterotropic. So what is known as heterotrophic and autotrophic? Auto means self. They can produce their own food material. So these are the organisms, they can synthesize their own food materials. Heterotrophic means they cannot synthesize their own food material. That is known as heterotrophic organisms. So here in the heterotrophic nutrition, the organisms cannot synthesize their own food material, hence they depend on other organisms. Okay, example, human beings. We don't have any chlorophyll, we cannot perform photosynthesis, hence we are going to depend on other organisms, whether it may be plant or animals. Okay, so we are heterotrophs and we are going to depend on other organisms. So these organisms, these heterotrophs, they are going to adopt different strategies, different strategies or different methods for the food intake and utilization of the food. What is meant by utilization? Using of the food material for the proper functioning of the body or growth of the body, that is known as utilization. So example, saprophytic. First one is the saprophytic. Saprophytic nutrition means these organisms are going to depend on dead organisms. Dead organisms are decaying organisms for the nutrition. Next, the parasitic nutrition. So these organisms are going to feed on other organisms. Okay, so like malarial parasite, it is going to live in the human beings. Okay, so that is an example. Next, internal digestion. So internal digestion means anything. For example, human beings, we are going to eat the food material. The food material enters into the stomach, and in the stomach, the food will get digested. That is known as internal digestion. External digestion means it comes under saprophytic. External digestion means comes under the saprophytic. So digestion is occurring outside the body. Okay. Example. So first we will discuss the external digestion with saprophytic nutrition. Okay. These organisms digest the food material outside the body and later they get absorbed into the body. That is known as saprophytic nutrition. Example, if you see here, this is surface. There is a bread mold. Okay, there is a bread mold. Let us consider this is a bread mold. It is going to release enzymes onto the surface, onto the food surface. So the food will get digested, and again this food will be taken or absorbed by this bread mold or rhizophus. It is rhizophus is one of the fungi. Okay, so this is the procedure. So digestion is going to occur outside the body. Digestion nutrients are absorbed into the body. So what is meant by digestion? Okay, so digestion means the complex food material. So let's consider this is the food material. The food material after the digestion, okay, it will get converted into the small individual nutrients. So these nutrients can be absorbed by the body. Okay, this is known as digestion. Okay, so we all need such kind of nutrients for the body growth and also body build up. Okay, so example, we can see the bread mold like rhizophus. Example, rhizophus. Next is the yeast. What is meant by yeast? We are going to discuss the yeast in coming lessons. Okay, yeast is a unicellular organism. Okay, so the yeast is going to produce or reproduce by the formation of a bud. Okay, the small growth will be seen on the body and its growth will fall off. Okay, and this will grow as a new individual. This is known as budding in the yeast. And next is the mushrooms. Mushrooms also do the same process. That is the saprophytic nutrition or external digestion. Okay. Next, we will discuss about the parasitic nutrition. What is parasitic nutrition? So these are the organisms that are going to depend on other organisms. Depend on other organisms for the source of the energy without killing the host. Okay. Example, you can take the Cascuta. So Cascuta or Cascuta is the same. So it is a plant. It is a plant. It is going to depend on another plant. Let us consider this is the plant. Okay, this is a tree. Okay, the Cascuta is going to grow on the ground. It will attach to the host plant. It will rotate around the host, and from the host it is going to absorb the food material. So this is a parasitic plant. Parasitic plant means it will not perform photosynthesis. This Cascuta will not perform photosynthesis and it is going to absorb nutrients from the plant or any tree. So that is a parasitic nutrient. Lice. Okay, the lice that can be seen in the head of the some people. So those who don't wash the head properly, so there may be chance of getting lice or lice. So next is the leeches. They will be found in the ponds. If someone enters into the pond, if the leech attaches to their body, it will start sucking the blood. They are known as leeches. Next, tapeworm. It is look like a flat worm. It is going to live inside the human beings. We have discussed all these in the 9th class. Okay, and etc. So this is the parasitic nutrition. So they will not kill the host. If you see here, the Cascuta will not kill the main plant. So what it is going to do, without killing the host plant, it is going to absorb the nutrient. Okay. So next is the internal digestion. So these organisms digest the food material inside the body after the food intake. So example, human beings, animals, and so on. So we are going to eat the lunch or tiffin, and that food enters into the stomach, and in the stomach or in the alimentary canal, the food will get digested. So this is the food material, and this food material will be digested and it will turn into small individual molecules. So these are known as nutrients. We are going to, our body is going to absorb these nutrients for our growth, okay, or for our metabolism or for our energy. Okay, so this is about internalization that is going to occur in the animals and human beings. And as the complexity of the organism increases, different parts of the body become specialized for the particular function. For example, let us see amoeba. So how the amoeba nutrition will be there? So this is the amoeba. Okay, it has a regular shape, it is unicellular, so it also need energy. So let us consider there is a bacteria. So what it will do? It will form a pseudopodia. Okay, it will form a pseudopodia. The bacteria will be taken inside, and after that there is a formation of the food vacuole. So inside it there is a bacteria. So by this way, the food material will be taken up by the amoeba by the formation of pseudopodia. Here you can see the pseudopodia. Okay, pseudo means false, podia means leg-like structure or finger-like structure for the locomotion. Podia means it is an organelle used for the locomotion. We are bipores. Bipores means we have the two legs. Bi means two, pores means the same way amoeba as a pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia. It is false food. Why? Because after some time they will get mixed up with the body. Okay, so this is the extending of the membrane of the amoeba. Okay, so this is the method how the digestion or how the digestion is seen in the amoeba. So next is the, if this is a simple digestion that is occurring in the amoeba, but what about human beings? So have the separate system, digestive system for the digestion. We have the digestive glands, digestive enzymes. We have the esophagus. Okay, next stomach and the small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus, and so on. This is a huge system. That system, complete system, is separate for the only digestion, only for the digestion only. Okay, complete system is available, adapted, or complete system is allotted for the digestion. Okay, can you see such kind of huge system in the amoeba? No, you cannot see such kind of system in the amoeba. Okay, so it means the complexity is increasing from the amoeba to the human beings depending upon the organism. So in amoeba, the food is taken from the pseudopodia, leading to the formation of the food vacuole for the digestion. Okay, and if you move to the paramecium, it is also a unicellular organism, but it's little bit complicated when compared to the amoeba. Okay, how the food will be taken into the paramecium? Let us see is a diagram. So in this diagram, you can see a cilia. Cilia means small hair-like structure around the body of the paramecium. So what they do, it is going to live inside the water, and the cilia will swim. They will push the food materials. This is the bacteria. This bacteria will be pulled into the oral groove. Can you see this oral groove? Slowly, due to the swimming of the pull or the and motion. Okay, continuous motion of the cilia, this will push the bacteria towards the oral groove of the paramecium. After that, when the bacteria is received into the oral groove, it's going to form a food vacuole, and this food vacuole will be appeared in this way, and in the food vacuole the digestion will be occurring. So after that, what will happen after the digestion? The food vacuole will again meet with the plasma membrane of the paramecium, and this will be expelled out. It means undigested food will be okay, or eliminated from the paramecium. So this is a nutrition that is a heterotrophic nutrition that is occurring in the from small animals to the larger animals, or from unicellular organisms to the multicellular organisms. Okay, and I hope this lecture is helpful to you. And if you want to get more lessons or lectures like these, subscribe. If you subscribe to the channel, you will get such kind of lessons and lectures, and you can download the complete notes from the you can get complete notes from the description. In the description, this complete notes is available. You can copy or you can write, and so on. Okay, like the video and share and also comment. Okay, so the next lecture is about parasitic nutrition in the Cascuta. Okay, it is also aerotrophic nutrition discuss. And if you have any doubts or any questions, and feel free to comment in the comment box and we will reply to the comment. Okay, and we will solve the doubts through the comments. And I hope this lecture is helpful to you, and we will meet you in the next lesson.